Hey everyone, Shabba Gamer here, and welcome back to the WWE 2K15 Universe Mode, and this, which will be the next episode of the Retro Rosters Throwback Thursday. So this is a first for me. This is the first time I've ever come to a computer-generated card and kept the entire show as quite a good one, this. So we're going to start off with the Legion of Doom, Animal and Hawk, taking on the British Bulldogs, the British Bulldog and the Dynamite Kid. We're going to have Jake Roberts taking on Hunter Hurst Helmsley. The Undertaker will take on Vader. Bret Hart taking on Ric Flair. And our main event will be Hulk Hogan and the Ultimate Warrior in a Falls Count Anywhere match. So let's get straight into our opening tag match. And our opening match will be Animal and Hawk, the Legion of Doom, taking on the British Bulldogs, Davey Boy Smith and the Dynamite Kid. And here we go. Both these teams will still be trying to prove themselves and go for, obviously, Sting and the Ultimate Warrior, the Blade Runners Tag Team Championships. They have held that belt successfully since the very beginning of this universe mode. So both these teams, I'm sure Legion of Doom have had a couple of opportunities now at the Blade Runners, and I'm pretty sure Davey Boy Smith and Dynamite Kid have had opportunity as well. Eventually somebody's going to have to beat them, surely. I doubt we're going to be able to hold them belts the whole way through until we start recording 2K16. Still unsure when that's going to be. I did originally say I wanted to continue doing this until the new year. Give me a chance to set my universe mode up. Give me a couple of months to do that. But now I'm starting to think that with, well, especially after starting this show and having this tag team match crash on me twice on the loading screen, I'm just starting to think it might be best just to start recording 2K16 as soon as we get it. But I think we'll cross that bridge as we get to it. At the moment, of course, we're still getting through this as much as we can. We're uploading at least one video a day. We hit our first big pay-per-view anyway. We've got a SummerSlam already out of the way for Retro Roster and for Attitude. Of course, SummerSlam is coming up next week for the current day roster, so be sure to check that out. And of course, the new game doesn't come out until the end of October, so I'm pretty sure we'll get it pretty far. I'm sure we'll get at least a Survivor Series, if not further. But I am starting to really look forward to it now, especially with the slow roster reveals that are coming through every week. Of course, if you haven't seen the 19 or so guys they released on the last Monday just gone, it was a very NXT based set. I think it was. You had Adrian Neville, Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, Hideo Itami, Tyler Breeze as well. So it looks like we are going to have a full NXT roster for next year, which is absolutely fantastic. So I think that's going to be one of the new brands we'll run next year. I'm thinking of dropping one or two of my brands, and it's all going to depend on how the rosters work out, who we get on the rosters to who I'm going to, or the actual rosters I run. I dare say we'll have a retro roster. We'll have an Attitude roster as well. We'll have a current day roster, of course, and then I'm thinking NXT, and that takes up 4 of our 6 days. So my original idea was to maybe do Ring of Honor and maybe New Japan, and then just have the 2 Ring of Honor and New Japan work together. Then again, all the ECW hardcore wrestlers will be put into the Attitude Era roster. And of course we'll run a hardcore title in there. So the likes of Sandman, Rhino, Raven, all those guys will be involved in that. Of course, a lot of it's going to depend as well on how many Creator Wrestler spots we get. Because I know we're going to have a massive roster this year, but I wonder how many of that massive roster is going to be legends and how many is just going to be fringe names on the current roster. Because I know they've announced Heath Slater hasn't been on the game for years, Heath Slater. So it sort of shows you how far they're going down the lists to bring in the likes of Heath Slater. They're bringing in probably everybody. If we get David Otunga, we know they're clutching at straws. If we get David Otunga, I'm happy with Heath Slater. I quite like Heath Slater. I think I might put him in the NXT roster though, Heath Slater, just to bolster that roster up a little bit. Great power slam there by Animal. But trying to think of who else now was announced. Stardust was announced as well. Sting was announced, and the Sting that's announced is the current Sting as well. It's not a retro or a Attitude version. It's the current looking Sting. So that's a handy one. We can use that not only in Attitude, but in current day as well. And of course, like I've said on previous videos, I don't know if I explained it too well, but you can now put down a certain superstar to wrestle for more than one roster. So, for example, the best example I can think of is probably with NXT. You have someone like Kevin Owens. You can set the universe mode and say Kevin Owens will perform for current day roster and NXT, and then Owens will be involved in both shows automatically. He'd be involved in the title rankings for both shows as well. So that for me is a big new addition, because I do like that. Don't know if it will quite work with going across time frames, or I did speak to Jay recently as well about the possibility of maybe having Seth Rollins working for current day roster and for Ring of Honor, which would in theory perfectly work. However, the only thing would be is if Seth Rollins wins, say, the Ring of Honor Championship, then Seth Rollins would appear on Monday Night Raw with that championship still. It doesn't separate them. It means they can work both shows at the same time. One big thing I'd like to change as well, and it's not something that's been confirmed or denied yet, is I would like to have the option to put more championships into a show. So at the moment you get 4 championships. You get your main event singles, you get your upper mid card single, you get your tag team, and you get your women's championship. But I'd like to change that and have more spaces. Like, it doesn't work with the current day roster at the moment, because obviously you've got the World Heavyweight Championship, you've got the Intercontinental, you've got the United States Championship, and all of a sudden you've got one extra belt and space there. Big power slam there by Animal. Bulldog out the ring, but he's back in quick enough to break the pin. Yes, that's something I'd definitely like to change, and having even multiple tag championships, just like they have in New Japan, where they got the junior heavyweight belts and the normal belts. I know we can do it manually, but I just want to try and avoid as much manual as possible. Pile driver there from Dynamite Kid. Another thing I'd also like to change is, I know they've got rid of the story editor, which I never really used, but I know a lot of people did use that. One thing that I think would work really well is if they combine the story editor with the universe mode. So maybe I could go in, say, at the beginning of a month and say, this feud is going to happen where on week 1, this person's going to attack this person from behind. Week 2, there's going to interfere in the match, and then just for that to run, I think that'd be really good. But yeah, it's difficult because we're all just going around thinking of what we'd love to see. I know a lot of people want to see the universe mode mixed in with the GM mode that used to be on the game as well. I'm expecting this weekend we might get some more detail, since it's the SummerSlam weekend, and I know Austin's actually been announced he's going to be at the SummerSlam weekend. He's not actually going to be at SummerSlam itself, but he is going to be there at the weekend, so I'm assuming he's going to have some sort of involvement with the game, maybe some announcements. Maybe they're going to announce the Stone Cold Steve Austin showcase. Maybe Austin's going to be there to do that with him. And one thing I was thinking of as well is I know the relationship between the WWE and Owen Hart's wife, or widow should we say, has never been that great, and that's why he's never had any DVDs or been on any of the games. However, I did see recently that WWE have announced they are doing an Owen Hart DVD. So I wonder if that means that he's now open to being on the game as well. Of course, Owen Hart would probably be part of an Austin showcase, considering I think Owen Hart actually broke Austin's neck. So it's definitely a big part of Austin's career. So I think that would be that'd be great to see Owen Hart on the game. He is somebody that always seems to get into my universe mode, so to have him on the game. Of course, Bret Hart, we think, sort of 99% sure that Bret Hart's going to be on the game, since we've seen in some of the entrance videos, you see people in the crowd wearing Bret Hart shirts, so it's sort of almost almost certain that Bret Hart's going to be in the game. Animal here has Bulldog locked in this chicken wing. Hawk trying to block off Dynamite Kid, but Dynamite finally makes it into the ring. Now, there's Bulldog with a running power slam. Hawk is on the outside here. Makes it into the ring, and oh, he's just quick enough to break that pin. And if you are watching, let me know in the comment section below what you would like to see in the next year's Universe mode. Of course, it's all up in the air at the moment. We're not entirely sure what's going to be on there, but yeah, let me know what you think you'd like to see in the Universe mode. Another one I'd like to see is I'd like to see more spaces for feuds. Of course, at the end of the month, you can get a pay-per-view of 7 matches. So I would like to have 7 feuds going on at the same time. I know that's not necessarily great, but I'd like to have a title feud and just put together the entire... Even if it comes to the beginning of the month and it says, what do you want your pay-per-view to be? Dynamite Kid with a quick roll-up. Only for the 1 count. Yeah, if it comes to the beginning of the month and it said to you, what do you want your pay-per-view to look like? And you put your card out there. You put in your singles matches, you put in your tag matches, fatal 4-ways, triple threats, whatever you want to do. You do that. And then the game uses that to develop all the feuds across the month. And I think that'd be a great way of doing it. Great twisting sort of Northern Lights suplex there by Dynamite Kid. And this match has gone on a fairly long time actually, considering what our tag matches normally do. One of these two teams is really going to boost themselves up the rankings. I know at the moment the Triangle of Terror are probably the only team that haven't had an opportunity at the Tag Team Championships. I know they're probably towards the top of the rankings. Picked up a few good victories, so I think they'll have a championship match against the Blade Runners pretty soon. However, the winner of this match is definitely going to be up there. Hawk with the armbar. Bulldog breaks it up. And one thing I'd like to see for 2K16 as well is is bringing back some of the multi-tag team matches. Because I know you used to have a triple threat ladder match and a triple threat TLC tag match. They were pretty good, but even the possibility of having, say, a fatal 4-way tag match, which we've seen in the past in WWE on a few occasions. I think there's actually one announced for SummerSlam this weekend. I think Los Matadors, Lucha Dragons, Primetime Players, and somebody else. Ascension? Nah, it's probably the Ascension. They don't push the Ascension WWE, do they? So I'd like to see that brought back into the game as well, just to try and change it, because at the moment our entire universe mode for tag team matches is going to be singles tag match, tag team versus tag team. We can't have multiple. And if you're trying to come up with a #1 contender as well, like I know I've done in the past, we take one person from each tag team and do, say, a 6-man battle royal. Winner's tag team goes forward, or fatal 4-way, that sort of way. And it'd be nice to have a little tournament every now and again. Maybe just like a fatal 4-way tag team match. Winner goes on to face the champions, that sort of thing. And there's the tag, hot tag, in comes Bulldog. And Hawk ducks the hot tag. Never a hot tag works in this game. That was one of the things. Well, yeah, I did mention, I saw today somebody on a forum saying one thing they'd like to see is the introduction of pre-shows for the pay-per-views. So you could have a 7-match card, but then also have like one little pre-show match, which I think would be quite a nice idea. But at the same time, you could just have an 8-match card and do it that way. As Bulldog takes Animal down with a running power slam, Dynamite takes Hawk off the apron, and that is all. The British Bulldogs pick up the victory here against the Legion of Doom. A fantastic win for them in what's been quite a good and well thought out tag team match here. Lots of action. I've not really spoke about much of it. I've been talking crap about the new game. And I probably did repeat myself and all that. If you watch a lot of my videos, I probably do end up repeating the things that I say over and over and over again. But those are the things that I'm excited to see anyway. And as I said, let me know in the comment section below what you would like to see in next year's universe, or next year's game in general. If there's anything you're desperate to see come back. But this says, yeah, like I said, great victory here for the British Bulldogs. Maybe an opportunity coming for them again in the future against the Ultimate Warrior and Sting, the Blade Runners, for them tag team championships. As I said, it looks like Triangle of Terror will get an opportunity in the next few weeks. However, we are now building towards our next pay-per-view, and there's no reason why these two guys can't be at the forefront of the list. Obviously, as an Englishman myself as well, you've always got to push your own, haven't you? Match number 2 will be Jake the Snake Roberts taking on Hunter Hurst Helmsley. And here we go. I think this is the first time I've actually seen Hunter Hurst Helmsley in this retro universe. I've been doing a bit of a shake around with him. He's been in Attitude for a little bit as well. I think I did originally put Triple H in the current day roster, then put Hunter Hurst Helmsley in the Attitude era as part of Evolution. It just didn't work at all. So I dropped Triple H back into Attitude and Hunter Hurst Helmsley back into the retro roster. It'd be quite good. It's going to bolster up the Intercontinental Championship rankings as well. Of course, Jake Roberts is very much part of that former Intercontinental Champion in this universe mode. Won that belt from Owen Hart early on, but then lost it a couple of weeks later back to Owen Hart. Owen, obviously, is still the Intercontinental Champion now. A couple of great victories recently, including Rick Rude at the SummerSlam pay-per-view. Big clothesline there by Triple H, taking Jake Roberts down. And yeah, we're still looking maybe an Intercontinental Championship match in the next few weeks. I understand, I know it's obviously 8 weeks between pay-per-views on Retro, so I think it might be nice to start to defend the championships a bit more often. Maybe not the World Championship, but the Tag Team and the upper mid-card belts. I think we'll definitely look to try and defend a bit more often. I know it was suggested to me last week by Jay that we look at Mr. Perfect, Kurt Hennig, getting an opportunity at the Intercontinental Championship, which I thought was a great idea. So in the next couple of weeks, I'm pretty sure we'll see that, as well as I mentioned, the Triangle of Terror getting a Tag Team Championship shot against the Legion, not the Legion of Doom, the Blade Runners. Because between me and you, the 14 or 15 people that actually watch this video, I do want Sting and the Ultimate Warrior to lose them Tag Team Championship belts. I'm desperate for them to lose them belts, because then I can start using them a bit more in singles. I know we started off the universe mode with a Sting versus Ric Flair feud. However, it's difficult because when we got to the pay-per-view, Sting had to defend his Tag Team Championships and face off against Ric Flair in the same evening. So it was a bit... I'm not a big fan of people having to wrestle twice in the same night. We've got enough guys on the roster to really use as many as possible. So, oh, not one of these again. Oh, only two. Only one reversal in that one. Yeah, so we'll definitely do that the next 2 weeks. I don't think we'll do them all in one show. We might do one championship match next week and one championship match the week after, just to try and spread it all around. And then once we've done that, we're only going to be about 3 or 4 weeks away from our next pay-per-view. Of course, our feuds will kick in very soon as well, with Undertaker picking up a couple of victories now over Undertaker picking up a couple of victories over Hogan in the last few weeks. I think he's definitely at the forefront to be part of that championship feud. However, again, Jay in the comment section suggested maybe having a fatal 4-way at the next pay-per-view, including not only Taker and Hogan, but maybe Psycho Sid and Bret Hart as well. So that's something we can definitely have a look at doing. Great running DDT there by Jake Roberts. And one of the things they have announced for next year's... Oh, these quick roll-ups are just doing my head in now, because every single one ends up in one of these stupid reversal situations. Yeah, one of the things they have announced for next year, which I've been doing a bit of research on, is the Creator Show, which is not going to be the old Creator storyline. It's not going to be anything like that. It's going to be more about... I think it's going to be an addition here to the Universe mode, to tell the truth. From what I can understand, it's sort of an extension to create an arena as well. You've got your arena, and the Creator Show allows you to create like the matchup screens and things like that. So might make it better here for our universe mode. So we don't have to use like the United Champions, which I'm currently using here. Is Jake Snake Roberts hitting the pin from that DDT, and Jake Roberts picks up the victory here over Hunter Hurst Helmsley, and that's definitely going to help him in the Intercontinental Championship rankings. Of course, he's had his opportunity in the past, and as I've said, we are looking at the likes of Mr. Perfect and maybe even Roddy Piper going at the championship in the near future. However, with if Jake Roberts keeps picking up victories like this, it'd be hard to ignore him. And Triple H's debut here in the Retro roster is not successful. Caught with the DDT there by Jake Roberts, and there's the 3 count. Great victory here for Jake Roberts. Well deserved, and he is one of the guys that's been there since the very beginning of the Universe mode, and always nice to see these guys still picking up victories. And our third match here this evening will be The Undertaker taking on Big Van Vader. And here we go. Now, as I said, Undertaker has picked up a couple of victories now against Hulk Hogan. He picked up one the weekend before SummerSlam. Obviously, didn't really take much out of it because he was facing Kane anyway. And Hogan already had a #1 contender in the shape of Bret Hart. However, yeah, it's a great opportunity for him now to sort of move on from the whole Paul Bearer Kane situation and maybe look towards picking up that singles championship. Vader, on the other hand, will also be very interested in going towards that. I quite like Vader. I think Vader's one of my favourite cores on this game at the moment. He looks just like he should, which a lot of the guys on it don't. So that's obviously a big advantage for Vader. And Vader's someone I'd like to see come back on to 2K16, and it's not completely out of the question since they have got a model from him a few years back. It was 2 or 3 years back he was on the game. So yeah, it's not completely out of the question. There's the big clothesline there by Vader. And again, I'm interested to see now we sort of know we're going to get a full NXT roster. We've already got Balor, we've already got Zayn, Neville, the Lucha Dragons, Tyler Breeze, Hideo Itami, Kevin Owens, all them confirmed. So we know we're going to get a full sort of roster. And I just want to see now what we're going to start to get Attitude Era wise, and of course Retro as well. I know one source has said that Andre the Giant has been confirmed, but that's not been confirmed yet by IGN. Sorry. That same source already has also said that Alexa Bliss from NXT as well is definitely in the game. So that'd be interesting, because if Alexa Bliss is in the game, then that obviously opens it up, and it means that if Alexa Bliss is on there, it means that we should definitely see the likes of Sasha Banks, Charlotte, Becky Lynch, Bayley, all of those, and even Carmella as well, all on the game. Just judging by how highly Alexa Bliss is thought of, surely the other ones should be on the game as well. So yeah, I'm wondering whether, of course, with this weekend being SummerSlam, if they do announce the Stone Cold Steve Austin showcase, then maybe they announce a few of the Attitude Era guys as well, because we all know for sure we're going to get Austin. We know that we're going to get The Rock, Triple H, and The Undertaker are givens as well. Booker T's already been announced. JBL will be on the game because he's on the game as commentary anyway, and they've got a model from this year. So we can sort of guess at a few of them. I know some people have said that Dudley's coming back, but for me, that's I think that's just wishful thinking. But with the likes of well, we've got Rhino working for NXT, so maybe Rhino will be on the game. Can use him for the Attitude Era as part of, as I said in the earlier match, the ECW part of it. Fight out for the Hardcore Championship on Raw. But I think we can sort of assume that retro-wise, we'll probably have... Well, we know we've got Colonel Mustafa and General Adnan, so chances are we'll probably have Sergeant Slaughter as well. There's Vader with a big choke slam straight into the pin. Only the 2 count. Yeah, I imagine we'll have Slaughter as well. I would imagine we're going to have all the retro guys from this year, plus maybe a couple more. Vader there with the big powerbomb. 1, 2, and no, again, Taker kicking out. Taker kicks out of the choke slam and the Vader bomb. Now Vader locks in this full Nelson submission hold on Undertaker. Is this going to be too much for him? No, it's not. Taker breaks out of that as well. And I wonder if it isn't Austin special. I know we're going to have 120 base stars that include no duplicates, but they've not said there's going to be no duplicates, if that makes sense. So we do have 120 base wrestlers, but they're not saying just because we've got 120 base wrestlers, we're not going to have 4 Austins as well. So there's a possibility we could have multiple Austins. We could have the is it the stunning Steve Austin from WCW with the long blonde hair? We could even have someone like him. Here we could have Taker launching Vader up, catches him straight into the tombstone power driver, and this looks like the performance of a future champion here in this universe mode. And there's the 3 count, kicking out the chokeslam and the Vader bomb, and then to come back with that tombstone power driver and pick up the victory. Outstanding performance here from The Undertaker, and he is probably the hottest guy on the retro roster at the moment, and I don't mean that in a sexual way, because I just realised it sounded that way. He's in the hottest form at the moment. There was the old school, and then the pin straight from the old school, only for a 2 count. And there's the pin after the tombstone. We're not going to actually get to see the tombstone because the game refuses to let us see the actual highlights of the match. But either way, as I've said, a great victory here for The Undertaker. Just cementing himself, and as I was saying, the next #1 contender for the WWF Championship. And I'm pretty sure Hulk Hogan will be backstage watching this match, looking over his shoulder, because he knows The Undertaker's creeping up behind him. And our next match this evening will be Bret Hart taking on Ric Flair. And here we go. And as I said in the last match, I'm expecting to be a lot of the same guys that are in this year, plus some more. So I'm expecting Ric Flair will definitely be in the game. He always is. And as I've already mentioned, Bret Hart, some people have noticed that Bret Hart's shirt is in some of the crowd pictures, so we're assuming that Bret Hart's back in the game as well. So, I could say next year's version of this match will be a lot better with both these guys being a real wrestler. And of course, the one thing that I really like about this is that a lot of the new guys on the game are replacing people that I actually have on course. So there's gonna be no need for me to download a Hideo Itami next year. No need for a Finn Balor next year. No need for a Kevin Owens. No need for a Bret Hart either. So they're going to be taking away a lot of the guys that I've had to download myself. Again, Kalisto and Sin Cara as well. Not need to download them. So if they do give us 100 cores again, it's going to be a lot better because I can use them to really pick up some more interesting people. Going to have a lot more space to play around with. And I love the fact we're getting NXT as well, because the one thing that annoyed me about the games is that they start doing the models at about, well, I think they finished doing the models in about March or something like that. So if somebody hasn't made their debut by WrestleMania, chances are they're not going to be on the game. And with bringing the NXT as part of the game, it means that should one of the NXT guys make their debut onto the main roster, all you've got to do is move them. So it sort of takes away all of that worry of not having them. The only thing that obviously might be a problem is the debut of Samoa Joe. So I can't see Samoa Joe being a part of the game because I don't think he joined early enough to do that. So Jay has made the suggestion that maybe Samoa Joe could be a downloadable content, which is very much possible. I wonder who else would be in downloadable content. I'm hoping we get Solomon Crowe as part of the NXT roster, but I've got a feeling he could be downloadable content as well. Back elbows there by Bret Hart. And there's a German suplex as well. So yeah, just thinking about who we could have on the retro roster. Let me know who you think should be involved on 2K16 in the retro area. I think we all know Andre the Giant's probably going to be there. I think we're pretty sure that Bret Hart's going to be there as well. We know General Adnan and Colonel Mustafa have been confirmed already. So we're assuming that Sergeant Slaughter will be on that list as well. But I'd like to see people like Legion of Doom and Demolition back on the game. Some great historic tag teams there that have always been overlooked. The British Bulldog as well has been overlooked. Obviously Bret Hart coming back, and the possibility of maybe Owen Hart being on the game is a great one as well. So yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, who you'd like to see as part of the retro guys in the 2K16 roster. Here we go for the pinning combinations again. Oh, only 2 combinations this time before Ric Flair kicks out. Both these guys in this match are both submission specialists. Of course, Bret Hart has his sharpshooter, but he also has a very, very potent power drive, which we've seen on several occasions in this universe mode. As winning the championship in the past as well here, against Hulk Hogan. And of course, Ric Flair likes to utilise the figure 4 leg lock. That'd be a bit of fun next year as well. So Ric Flair's on the game and Charlotte's on the game. Maybe we could have a mixed tag match, Ric Flair and Charlotte versus somebody and somebody. Ooh, if I tell you what, if Jim the Anvil Neidhart's on the game, that'd be a great match. Charlotte and Ric Flair versus Natalia and Jim the Anvil Neidhart. That'd be a fantastic match. I do have some ideas for my summer. That's one of the reasons I want to get to SummerSlam. Is I've had a fantastic idea for for Survivor Series. I've had a great idea of something I want to do, but I don't want to ruin it. But it's along the same sort of lines as what I just said. So yeah, I'm looking forward to hopefully getting all the way through to Survivor Series at least. But as I said, I think there's no reason why I probably couldn't record a bit of 2K16 and continue recording this for a while until I get my 2K16 universe mode exactly where I want it. Because obviously, as soon as the game comes out, I can set up the current day roster, I can set up NXT and Retro and Attitude with the superstars we've got. However, downloadable creator wrestlers to bolster them rosters up is what we'll need, and I think it'll take probably 2 or 3 weeks to start getting all those guys up on the community creations, at least getting a half decent ones. Like I said, we might be able to have enough to start running with Attitude and Retro. The only problem we're going to have is, of course, Ring of Honor and New Japan Pro Wrestling is what I'm thinking of doing next year. I'm not 100% sure yet. The problem with doing New Japan is that you sort of limit yourself from being able to use some of the Mexican guys. So I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to do yet. To tell the truth, I might even just do a brand called Indie. Just a brand called Indie Wrestling and just do the different shows. Just do different ones each time. Just do Ring of Honor show. Just do a Lucha Underground show. Just do all these different shows. I don't know. It's an idea, but like I say, I might end up doing Global Force again just for the sheer excuse to be able to use the Japanese and the Mexican stars all on the same roster. But I'll have to cross that bridge when I come to it and just really have a look at who we've got to play with. I think Ring of Honor is definitely something we'll go ahead with. TNA, not really bothered about anymore. Obviously, TNA is probably one of the bigger companies, but it just doesn't have enough talent on there to really... There's not enough guys on there I'd like to download. And there's a quick roll-up there and a quick victory for Bret Hart. Out of nowhere, the quick roll-up on Ric Flair. And Bret Hart is victorious. Didn't think that was the way it was going to happen. After Ric Flair locked in the figure 4 leg lock, I thought Bret was in a torrid situation. However, he manages to pick up the quick roll-up. Here's Flair here, locking in the figure 4 leg lock. And there was a quick roll-up there by Bret Hart. And there's the 3 count. Bret Hart offering a handshake, and Ric Flair again rejecting that handshake. I can see a bit of animosity here between these two, and maybe, you know, we've got a feud building its way here on its own. And now it's time for our main event here this evening as Hulk Hogan takes on the Ultimate Warrior in a Falls Count Anywhere match. And here we go, we've got the current WWF Champion here, Hulk Hogan, taking on one half of the current Tag Team Champions, the Ultimate Warrior. Elbow to the inside of the knee there by Hogan. And of course we know Hogan's not going to be on the game next year, because of several comments he's made, well I was going to say recently, but they weren't recent. I think they were back in 2012, but they only came to light over the recent. However, I do think I'm still going to download him. I've been the same. I've always said that what you do outside the ring is one thing, what's inside your head is one thing, but for me this is a wrestling game, and I would be stupid to leave one of the most iconic wrestlers of the 80s and 90s out. So I think we'll definitely be downloading him as part of our retro roster anyway. Not really going to bother with Attitude as we have in this game. Of course, we've got him as part of the NWO and Attitude in this game, so I think we won't really bother with that. But yeah, definitely someone will download. I think the Ultimate Warrior has been confirmed already for next year's game. That's something that I forgot about earlier. So yeah, Warrior's definitely on the game. One thing I would like to see in this year's game as well, which I think they have done in the past maybe, I don't know actually, is I'd like to see them involve some female legends. So I want to be able to see, if I do run in Attitude Era, if we could get the likes of, say, Lita, Trish Stratus, Ivory, Molly Holly, Victoria, and just build up an Attitude Era's women division as well, rather than just having the women's in the current day, which we're not, obviously. We're going to have an NXT women's division as well, so we're going to have 2 women's divisions at least, but if we get the chance to have a third in Attitude, that'd be fantastic. But again, it's not something I've done this year at the moment because of the limited core space we have, especially with me running 6 universe brands. Every single one of these 100 cores is used up at the moment, and we keep switching and changing every now and again, but you can't really do it permanently. Like if we do a women's, if I do something like Queen of the Ring, which is something I'm going to be doing pretty soon hopefully, then I will download a few women to put in that Queen of the Ring competition, and then after that we'll use them a little bit in the universe mode, and they'll probably disappear off and get replaced by somebody else, and that's the way it's really going at the moment, based on what's happening at the moment. Is going to be based on who's in the universe mode. It's like this weekend we have the Combat Zone Wrestling's Best of the Best pay-per-view, so for that I'll be looking around, seeing if I can download a few more Combat Zone Wrestling guys, a few more indie wrestlers that we can try and get in there. I have been trying to get hold of AR Fox and Rich Swann now since time began. There's also the likes of Shane Strickland I'm trying to get hold of as well, so like I said, I'm just the universe mode is constantly evolving. We're constantly changing people over. We had a bit of a shuffle up a couple of weeks back now, which was pretty good for retro roster. We ended up gaining Sid Vicious, Vader, Mr. Perfect, Rowdy Roddy Piper. We picked up quite a few guys here in retro. Warrior rolling Hogan over for the pin, and we can't see because referee's out of shot, so I have no idea what's going on. It's only a 2 count now, I'm assuming. I'm not a big fan of these Falls Count Anywhere matches because the referee's AI is just terrible. He likes to run inside the ring and make the count. Like it really matters. It's Falls Count Anywhere. The referee shouldn't be going in the ring. He should be down by the shoulders, really. That's the whole point. Great shoulder block there by Hogan. Of course, he will have seen The Undertaker pick up a victory early in the evening against Vader, and that's really going to push Taker into that championship picture. So Hogan will be desperate to pick up a victory here, just as a sort of a nod to Taker, just saying that he's not down and out. He's the fighting champion. He deserves to have that belt. He might need a new knee after that as well. Warrior going for the pin. Referee again has to slide in the ring. And because of that, it's only a 1 count. And the referee slides back out the ring. You don't just stay in there. Hogan now slides back into the ring as well. Remember, this is false count anyway, but it's also no disqualification, so weapons can be used if so. Warrior on the outside now. And there's the DDT on the apron. And that could actually finish the match off here. Well, it could have done if Warrior wasn't busy taunting. And Hogan's back up and strikes at the back of Warrior. Needs the stomach of Warrior there. And there's the clothesline as well. Going for the pin now. Referee takes an age to get in position. Only a 2 count. Repeated elbow drops there by Hogan. Warrior makes his way back to his feet. Boots the stomach of Hogan. Now Hogan throwing Warrior into that barrier. And now just using that barrier to hold Warrior up as he just continuously pummels him. Now rolls him over back into the pin. 1. Only a 1 count. Hogan tripping Warrior. Went for the elbow drop, but I think he actually missed the elbow drop. But now he has Warrior in the headlock. Warrior back up to his feet though and catches Hogan in that atomic drop. Two guys here continue to fight on the outside. Some of these guys in the crowd getting a much better view than they thought they did as Warrior locks in the bear hug here on Hulk Hogan. Can Hogan survive this or is he going to tap out? Oh, Hogan actually reverses it there into the DDT on the outside. Going for a pin. Again, the referee completely out of sight. Please, I know 2K have said that manager, tag team partner and referees AI have been improved, but it must have to be improved by quite a lot, surely. Again, Hogan going for the pin here on Warrior. And we still have no idea what's going on, but I'm going to assume that was a 2 again. Warrior tripping Hogan over on the steps and going for a pin again. Referee slides back into the ring, going for the count. There's New Jack there in the front row. Oh, Warrior has Hogan up. Gorilla press on the outside onto the ring steps. And surely that's got to be all. 1, 2, and 3 and it is. Warrior hitting the gorilla press onto the ring steps. Finishes Hogan off. And Ultimate Warrior here picks up the victory over the current WWF champion, Hulk Hogan. Surprising. Have we crashed again? I think we've crashed again. Well, anyway, guys, let's call that the end of this episode. Now, we've had a great show tonight. We've seen a great tag team match as the British Bulldogs picked up the victory. We've also seen... What else we see? Oh, The Undertaker picked up another victory, strengthening his cause to become the #1 contender for the WWF Championship. And we've also seen some other stuff happen as well, which I can't remember now, because this crash has completely thrown me off course. But anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching. I've been Shabby Gamer, and goodbye.